Hello YouTube, Al here, and let's get out the way. My hair's a little bit too short. It's okay. Got some new clippers. Didn't work out. I look a bit like that "can I borrow 20p" guy you see in town. That guy. But it's fine. So let's breeze past that. Today I want to look at the Peavey 6505 Piranha. So, if you've seen the orange Micro Terror and the Micro Dark Terror, this is kind of Peavey's entry into that sort of world. So there's two parts of an amplifier. There's the preamp, which gives it the tone, it gives it the distortion, and it gives it the EQ section. And then the power amp is the bit that makes it louder, effectively. In tube amplifiers, or valve amplifiers as we say in Britain, when you turn the amp really loud, the power amp distorts. You're not going to get that with these. You're only going to get preamp distortion with these, which is absolutely fine. I mean, it's not a problem. It depends what you're after. But the gist of it is, you should get the tone of a 5150 if the preamp is the same. But with a solid state power section, you can get a lot more power in a smaller package. Now, valve watts are a lot louder than solid state watts. So as this power section is solid state, it's 20 watts, and it will be not as loud as a 20 watt all valve amp. Let's get that, it gets out of the way. So this wouldn't really be giggable, but it's a great amplifier for playing at home if you love the metals. Now, this does not have the stock valve in it. The bloke who sold it to me said he changed it out. This one is a Harmer ECC 83 Retro. So there you go. Whatever stock valve came in this is long gone. I didn't know that. It doesn't matter. It's just that it will affect the sound because I've changed it in my Micro Terror, and there's another guy who did a really good video of lots of different valves in a Micro Terror, and it does make a difference. Maybe not a massive difference, but it does make a difference. So this amplifier sounds fantastic, but just bear in mind it's not stock. So you've got the gain control. Obviously, the more gain, the more good. EQ. Now this is a weird one because it goes from notched, which is pulling out the mid end, so it makes it scooped, into pushed, where it's pushing the mid-range to more of a hump. Personally, I like it more on the scooped side. That's just sounds better to me. And the volume obviously makes it louder. You've got a phones out. I'm not sure if there's an emulated cab on this, or if it's without. If it's without, then you could plug it into an interface in your computer, and then you could run cab simulations in your computer to record with this, which would make a lot of sense. If it does have a speaker sim on it, then you could do that, or you could take it to a gig and you could plug it into a PA. You would still have to plug it into a speaker though, because otherwise the power amp is not happy. Even if you're taking the signal from an effects loop, oh my goodness, this little thing has an effects loop. If you take it out the effects send, even then you would need to plug a speaker in here, even though it would be getting no signal, because the power amp is not happy otherwise. So it's pretty simple. What's this one? Oh yeah, it's the power button. Simple. And of course you've got the channel switching from a crunch to a lead on the front. The sad part is there's no foot switch you can use with this, but I guess if you're only using it at home, it's not a huge problem. And what have I missed? The aux in. Oh yes, you can play music through it as well. Why you'd want to, I'm not entirely sure. It'll make more sense to me to have it up on my computer or Bluetooth speakers and turn it up and play along, but whatever, you can do that. So it's a very simple amplifier. It's bigger than the orange, as in it's quite a bit deeper, even though when it comes to how wide it is, I mean it's quite a bit wider but less deep, and this is heavier than the orange. This is 4 ohms minimum, by the way. The other ones I believe are 8. Where does it say? Minimum 8 ohms, so this is minimum 8 ohms. What that means is if you plug this into a cabinet that is 8 ohms or 16 ohms, this will be less efficient in terms of volume than this would be. It doesn't mean this would necessarily be louder. I'm talking about the efficiency of the amplifier. So this wants to see 4 ohms to run at maximum efficiency. This wants to see 8 ohms to run at maximum efficiency. So getting all this nonsense out of the way, let's see how this thing sounds. It's one of these annoying amplifiers, again, like the Microterra series, which I really like as amplifiers, but where is it? You need one of these silly nonsenses to go with it. So it's not just a kettle lead you plug in the back. The power transformer is separate. Yes, I've written Peavey on it just so I know it's not a Microterra one, because they look the same. Very, very thin cable coming from the transformer, which I'm not too happy about, and a kettle lead going in. So clearly the transformer is external because it saves the money doing it this way. And the last thing we've got to mention is it comes with a nice little bag. Why you need the bag, I'm not too certain, because again, I would not say this is a giggling amp. It's not a gigging amp at all. It's not at all loud enough. So, I mean, this makes sense to keep dust off it at home, I suppose. It is very lightly padded. It's more than a glorified rain cover. Not much more, but it is more. That really is it. It's pretty straightforward. Today I'm going to be using my Cort, I can't remember the bloody name of the guitar, a Cort Super Strat, ash body, maple neck, rosewood fretboard, and it's got Iron Gear Railhouse 2 pickups in it. I'm going to be using that for the chuggos. For a pedal, I might be using my pedal board, but I thought I'm going to go a bit off-piste. So, I had this for a little while, but it's been a mate's because he's been borrowing it. So, this is the Vailton Dapper. It's quite simply tuner, overdrive, distortion, and delay with tap tempo, which is lovely. I'm going to run this straight into the front of this. These are about 80 quid new. I got it second-hand for less than that. So I'm going to run that into the front of this just for a bit of dirt, just to give it a little bit of an oosh. And we'll see how the overdrive works with this. But let me tell you now, bloody hell, I was impressed with this thing when I first plugged it in. It is going to be sold purely because I got the 6505 MH, the bigger brother of the Piranha. That's all valve 20 watts, so it's a lot louder, a lot louder. I may well do a shootout with the Piranha and the MH if you want to see it. Personally, I think lots of other people have done that, but if you want me to do it, then I'll do it. So, enough of my yakking. It's been 7 minutes 30 seconds now. Let's plug these things in and let's see what tone we can get. So, I've just tuned using the Dapper and it's just great. Not a problem with tuning on this at all. Oh, my cable's getting all tangled up, which is a bit annoying. Go away. So, I'm running it through my Harley Benton 112. Yes, I have a 112 now. Here's the Peavey MH. Again, I'll do a separate video on this. You can hear a lot of background hiss. That is from the Piranha. It does have a lot of background hiss. It's perhaps not the best amplifier in the world. It was a high gain amp is what I mean, so it does the same thing as the MH does. It's not the fault of the amplifier, it's just the design of the damn thing. So let's try this. I'm going to go on the crunch. It's got a V30 in it, by the way, Celestion V30 in the cabinet. So, EQ, let's set that at 12. Gain is at 12 o'clock. Volume's about 10 o'clock. And of course, Cort with the Iron Gear Railhouse pickups. So. More delay. Oh, that's the tuner. great in this. Up to about 11. That's better. Notice the repeats are distorted because the amplifier is not entirely clean, so this is no distortion or anything. So the repeats, the delays, repeats are distorted. But if I pick lightly, I can get it to clean up, so I can use the delay a bit. The chord splits are great. So again, the repeats sound great, but you can tell they're distorting in the front of the amp. So I just want to do something. We all know what's coming. So again, all I've done is note this is chord split, and I pick lightly, and now I add a bit of overdrive on the start. Too much. So let's do the EQ to a quarter of the way up, when you'll hear that it gets more scooped. Overdrive on again. Gain up 3/4 of the way with no overdrive now, sorry. This is where we really get into the 5150 sort of territory. Overdrive on. So again, all I've done is turn the gain up to 3/4 of the way from about half. On the EQ. Let's go to halfway, so it should be fairly neutral. Whatever the neutral character of the amp is, scooped or mid-range, it should be doing not that much more. This is great. Overdrive off. So even now with the coil split, it doesn't clean up. It just needs it needs a drive. Put the delay on, and it's just going to distort into the front end. So you can hear, it's just awful. Does not want to work. Personally, I might put one of these in the effects loop of the amp and then run my pedal board in the front, just so I get a delay in the loop. But then it's getting a bit silly then. I might as well get a separate board for effects loops, and even then it's getting silly. So this is with no drive. With the drive. Let's do EQ to about, let's try 2 o'clock. So this is more mid-pushed without the drive. With drive. let's try even more. Let's go 3/4 of the way up. 3/4 of the way up. Drive on again. Look all the way up. No drive. So for me, the action. For me, the amp is not about the EQ at all. I'd say leave it under halfway somewhere. That's where you're going to be happy. It's where I'm happy. With the gain, I like the gain on full because when you smack a drive in the front, it sounds fantastic. So here we go. Pinches in a while. So the gain is about 8 out of 10, 80%. So even now, we're only halfway through. So this is now the This is now the lead channel. So this is where the gain seriously gets going. I know it looks like a disembodied, well, disheaded body. There's not a lot of difference. This is the crunch. The gain's on halfway. Lead. As in the crunch is still pretty damn gainy. So here we go. With gain, drive. might need a noise gate with this amp. Okay, well, this is a... I'm going to level with you. It's got like 10s or something on it. And it's in drop C, so everything's very flappy. But you still get the point. I've just waited for these strings to die so I can put some new ones on. Let's put a delay on, it'll just scream into the amp. So let's see if we can do some ambient stuff. The chuggies, forever the chuggies. I love the way this spanks on single calls though. Full humbucker. So you can hear that real spank, it's great. It's the Tosca shit as well. So, there you have it. Let's go back to some clean, just because we haven't done any clean yet. Not real clean. So there you go, there's a look at the Piranha. It's not a bad amp at all. If you want to stay at home and do the chuggies, if you're a fan of Pantera or Machine Head or obviously Eddie Van Halen, or Dragged Under, Rest Repose, you know, any time with a big, heavy 5150. Tell you what, Alice in Chains, the third album with the dog on, that has a 5150 on it. Jerry blended that with his Friedman modded Marshalls of the time. So there's quite a lot of use of this sort of amp in rock and metal, and it's not just a chuggy metal amp. But obviously, for fans of Periphery, Monuments, insert Tesseract, whatever, insert Genty band here. For that sort of stuff, for Tosca, all the chuggy stuff, this is fantastic. I really love the feel of the thing under the fingers. It's so easy to play, this amplifier. It doesn't make you work for it. It doesn't struggle. It doesn't fight you. It just sings. I mean, it's even got a bloody effects loop. I wasn't running my delay into the effects loop. I just wanted to see how the overdrive on the Dapper worked with this, because I hadn't tried it. And the overdrive works all right. I was using the Boss OS2 before in front of this, and Jesus Christ, that sounded good. But I really like this. If you need a metal tone, this is a great amp. I think you could record with this. Personally, if I was going to record with this, I would be quite tempted to either put an EQ plug-in first thing in the chain or put an EQ pedal afterwards, because I'd be running it at the effects loop into my interface. Yeah, I'd probably do that. You may need a noise gate with this. There's a lot of hum and hiss in the background with it being a high gain amp. I know a lot of people use noise gates, maybe to put them in the loop of the amplifier or something. I don't have any noise gates. I've never used a noise gate, so I didn't use one. Again, I don't really care about any background noise because this isn't a gigging amplifier. The MH has the exact same amount of background hiss, so do not think there's anything wrong with the amplifier. Don't think that it's a fault with your amplifier. Don't think that it's cheaping out in the Piranha as opposed to the bigger boys. It's meant to do that. It's a high gain amp, and with that you kind of get a lower noise floor, so you get a lot of in the background. But I think if you want to practice at home, this is a really, really cool little metal amp. It's very portable. You can even plug it into bleeding headphones if you wanted. I can't really fault it. Carry case is nice. Again, I'm not quite sure why you'd want to use that, but there you go. So there's a look at the Peavey 6505. Let me know what you think. Again, I'm not really a metal player much these days. And the guitar was in drop C with, I think, 9s or 10s on it, so it was very flappy-dappy. But I just wanted to try out the chord with this because it's kind of a metalish guitar. So let me know what you think down in the comments. I think this is a really nice... I wouldn't say versatile, actually. I was about to say versatile, and I'm thinking, what the hell am I saying? It's not versatile. It has a clean channel. I quite like the clean channel, especially for single coils. If you run a reverb and delay in the loop, it would be really nice to record that sort of thing at home. Wouldn't use this for live, I'd say, but I think it sounds good, even clean, and even with Strat-ish, you know, with single coils, I think it sounds great. So do not be put off by thinking it's not versatile in that respect, but it doesn't do a lot. It does a thing, and it's a glorious thing. So there you have it. Thanks for watching. My name's Al Cooper. Like, subscribe if you feel like it. Leave any questions or hate mail down in the comments, and I'll see you next week for another video. So until then, thanks for watching, and I'll see you. Bye-bye.
Bye!